Hello again. This is Frank Fiore, and I wrote the screenplay for the movie Cyberkill, which is based on my 5-star rated novel right here. And I thought it would be a good idea to read some of the scenes that are in my book that did not make it to the screenplay. So this one is about Travis and his girlfriend AJ, and they go to Dallas's BattleBot competition where he's going to try and win the highest award for the competition. 30 minutes and 3 bouts later, after witnessing all kinds of mechanical mayhem, Dallas appeared and took Cole and AJ to the bot staging area. "Let me introduce to you my little creations," Dallas pointed to the 2 BattleBots at his feet. One BattleBot stood low to the ground with a wide wheelbase made of 5 rubber wheels on each side. "This little one is named Battlescar Galactica. Notice the vertical high carbon steel saw blade it represents to an opponent. The blade is powered by a high torque motor designed to provide maximum power to Galactica." "To inflict the greatest amount of damage," AJ interrupted excitedly. "Yes," said Dallas, beaming. "Exactly, and this one here is my favorite, American Armageddon. It even has the judges worried. He's tall, he's big, and he's ugly, and has a compressed gas tank that powers the hammer you see coming out of the center. Armageddon could put a big dent in the battle box's solid steel floor if I'm not too careful." An announcement over the PA system summoned Dallas to the staging area. "Gotta go. Wish me luck. Time to kick some butt." Cole rolled his eyes. He and AJ made their way back to the grandstand. Soon Dallas entered the battle box and placed Armageddon on the red square, while his competitor placed his bot on a blue square, the designated starting points. According to the announcer, Dallas's competitor was named Dreadbot, a 325-pound super heavyweight robot. This particular beast of mayhem was built from surplus military aircraft, hydraulic pistons combined with custom valving and CO2 gas to produce several tons of flipping force in a few hundredths of a second. "Boys and their toys," said AJ, giggling. She was clearly getting into this, and he loved her for it, although he wasn't ready to admit that to her just yet. Dallas was animated with excitement. This was his first batch, with his first bout. He could hardly wait to see how his own bots held up against those of his competitors. He, of course, had an edge. At the judge's instructions, he took his spot on the controller's stage. There, waiting for him, like a loyal dog, was the robot Isaac. Dallas handed the robot the controls. "Let the games begin," thought Dallas. Dallas's rival was a short, rail-thin man with a ponytail wearing a black Rage Against the Machine t-shirt. Seeing Isaac standing where Dallas should have been, he immediately protested. There was a brief and heated discussion with the 2 judges. Ultimately, they ruled in Dallas's favor and Isaac's favor. After all, there was no rules against one robot controlling another robot. Grinning, Dallas sat down with his others in the bleachers just behind the protective glass. A loud klaxon horse signaled the start of the match and brought Isaac to life as he had been programmed to do. Even from here, Dallas could see Isaac manipulating the radio control to perfection. In response, Armageddon moved effortlessly around the arena, easily avoiding its opponent's thrusts and attempts to flip it over. Not only was Isaac able to quickly parry Dreadbot's attacks, but the bot also glided around the floor traps that sprung up intermediately during the bout. At Isaac's instruction, Armageddon was soon on the offensive, his devastating hammer repeatedly damaging its opponent. Dreadbot was now moving slowly and erratically, smoke trailing behind it. Dallas was excited. This was working better than he could ever imagine. "No one can beat me," he thought, not with Isaac at the controls. And then it was time. Dreadbot was pinned against a wall, pulverized and nearly out of commission. Dallas grabbed Cole's arm, excited. This was it. Cole shrugged his friends off him, although Dallas hardly noticed. Instead, he was watching eagerly as Armageddon raised the devastating hammer high into the air. "Do it," thought Dallas. "Smash it to pieces." But nothing happened. The hammer never moved. "What's going on?" Dallas remarked. "What's wrong with Armageddon?" asked AJ. "I have no idea," said Dallas. And just as he uttered those words, something very strange happened. Armageddon abandoned its wounded adversary and turned around facing the audience. Dallas immediately looked over at Isaac and saw it had dropped its head in both arms. The robot had seemingly turned itself off. And yet Armageddon moved forward toward the protective shield, raising its hammer. Something else is controlling the bot, said Dallas. Something is wrong. And then Armageddon was moving faster. AJ squealed as the heavy bot smashed into the Lexon wall, rebounding off of it like a rubber ball. The bot gathered itself once more, moving forward again, and crashed hard against another portion of the wall. Very wrong, Cole added. The crowd nearest the protective shield scattered. Others were standing and pointing Cole just at where Cole had just stood, surprised by the sudden turn of events when his cell phone rang. No, someone else's cell phone was ringing. And then he realized everyone's cell phones was ringing, at once, together, in unison. In a matter of seconds, the entire hangar reverberated with the sounds of shrieking cell phones and beepers. AJ grabbed his arm. Cole, look. He saw it too. The cell phones weren't the only things that had come to life. Rumbling out of the staging area from behind the center combat area and toward the audience was dozens and dozens of battle bots, all with their weapons, armed and ready. If you want to know how they survived that one, you're just going to have to buy the book.